Why are you getting so upset? This is not about you.
Yes, it is. You are a human affront to all women, and I am a woman.
Of all the gin joints in all the towns in all the world, she walks into mine.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment.
Hello, Justin.
Hey, how's it going, Rob?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. Glad to be talking Dreamworks animated pictures this week.
Definitely. Since it was your choice, this topic, would you like to go through?
Yeah, so, in honor of the Boss Baby family business coming out on Peacock streaming and also in theaters, we decided to do our top 5 favorite Dreamworks animated movies. Disney gets a lot of love and Pixar gets a lot of love, so I figured let's talk about an animated company that doesn't get a lot of love, because it has a total of 41 films that have been released. Lots of franchises have stemmed from DreamWorks. But sadly, with all their nominations, they only have 3 wins. And if you go under, Disney, there's just win. So we do have, Shrek winning Best Animated Picture. That was the first ever animated picture to win in Oscars history. The Prince of Egypt did win for Best Original Song in 1998. And then we also had Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit, winning for Best Animated Feature in 2005. But I believe that one had a lot to do with, the company that it actually is born under, the Aardman Animations Group. But also DreamWorks is underneath the Universal Pictures umbrella, which is one of my favorite all-time franchise, companies, Hollywood companies out there. I think Universal just brings so many good action-packed blockbuster movies. So I really love Universal and I love DreamWorks, and we're going to talk about it today. I think the first movie that came out was Ants in 1998, and I believe that was a direct response to Bug's Life. Disney setting out A Bug's Life, and also being so successful with the Toy Story franchise. And then finally, the last movie that came out was the Boss Baby family business, but also Spirit Untamed came out this past year. And then last year we had The Croods: A New Age and Trolls World Tour. So also talking more about the franchises there. But yeah, I'm excited to count down our top 5 and see what we have going here. You had mentioned something about you have something against DreamWorks a little bit. What are you?
I feel like they rely too much on their stars and their animation.
Too much on their stars than their animation?
Yeah, because you're like Ants had like a A-list cast, whereas Bug's Life kind of didn't really have much of an A-list cast. But I praise Bug's Life more for its animation than Ants.
Yeah, so I watched Ants for the first time this past week because I had not seen it, and the animation was just bad. Like, it just didn't work for me. And yeah, I completely agree. A Bug's Life has a lot better animation and a lot more characters that are likable and fun. Whereas Ants was, it really just dropped dropped the ball. It is a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. It did make $171 million overall. It's not going to be in my top 5.
No, I bet you had bad ears after that.
Yeah, I like A Bug's Life a little bit more, and Ants,
Yeah.
like I said, just like direct response to the Bug's Life sort of movie that came out during that time too. But with that being said, I do think DreamWorks has very interesting animation. Definitely something that's not really what even Disney uses. Even all the way up to this new movie, Boss Baby, because that's a big old head with big old eyes and disproportions of bodies and stuff, and that's interesting to see because you don't really get to see that. They like to make it as believable as possible, but it's fun that they have fun with it as well. So, anyways, you want to dive in and start with number 5?
Yes, I would. It's a film that's already been mentioned, The Prince of Egypt.
So this is the one that I haven't. This is the last one that I had to see, and this one is a pretty solid film, but didn't make my top 5. I do have a tie for my top 5, and it's because they're so damn good, but also pretty much exactly the same story. It's The Croods, and The Croods: A New Age is my top 5. Is my number 5. What's up with The Prince of Egypt? Tell me all about it.
The stunning animation that looks groundbreaking for its time. I wish DreamWorks did this film before they did Ants. I feel like they did actually took a lot of love and care, where obviously Ants was revenge for Bug's Life.
Yes, they both came out in the same year. Ants came out in October 1998, and Prince of Egypt was December 1998. So I think because of its kind of sort of Jesus, Bible talk, they wanted to do it closer to his birthday, maybe.
Yeah. Well, it's not, obviously it's about Noah, which is years beforehand.
Yeah. I know they should have. You're absolutely right. They should have swapped it. Prince of Egypt has that. It looks hand drawn kind of animation, and it really was awesome. It's one of my girlfriend's favorites as well. That budget was 70 million. It grossed 218, so it did better than Ants, but only a 79% on Rotten Tomatoes. But there's
I think it's more of a critically loved film than an audience-pleasing film.
Yeah, totally. Really all-star cast too, because Ralph Fiennes, Val Kilmer, Michelle Pfeiffer, Sandra Bullock, Jeff Goldblum, Patrick Stewart, Steve Martin, Martin Short. So
They're all
all-star.
great actors.
What's that?
They're all great actors.
Yeah. Also, Hans Zimmer did the score for this movie.
And you know how much I love Hans Zimmer.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, it's a solid flick. It should be right there in my top 5. I just missed it because I look for more fun and rewatchability when it comes to these sort of animated movies.
Yeah. So tell us about The Croods, as I've not seen either before.
So The Croods came out in 2013. Made $587 million, and then just this last year, it came out during pandemic. Still made $171 million, so it's pretty good. But they're just fun. I mean, it's just Neanderthals living their lives. With Emma Stone and I believe Ryan Reynolds. And then Nicolas Cage. It's just a really fun movie. And you have the first one is mostly about her, Emma Stone, realizing that she belongs here with her family. And then the second one is they meet another Neanderthal family, but they live in this glorious family treehouse. And one of my favorite parts of the movie is the brother sits down on a couch, but in front of a window, and it looks like a TV, and he's like so mesmerized. All he wants to do is just sit down in front of that window and just watch the outside world, and that's a really fun moment. But yeah, these movies are just tons of fun, but they're really identical. I mean, it's pretty much the same story. But I enjoyed the first, and then seeing the second, I enjoyed it equally as much. So both of those come in at my number 5.
They sound better than A Good Dinosaur. I wasn't a fan of that film.
Yeah, yeah, definitely better.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give them a watch, but obviously with Nicolas Cage, Emma Stone, and Ryan Reynolds being in the film, you do kind of get what I'm trying to come across.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're so unique in their own sort of way, and different than their other franchises that I'm sure will be talked about a little bit later.
My number 4 has kind of its own franchise that has a spin-off franchise, but I think the first installment in this is the best one, and it's Madagascar.
Madagascar, yes, very, very good. My number 4 is How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World, number 3.
Ooh.
So tell me about Madagascar. Yeah, 4 movies have stemmed from this franchise. First one came out in 2005.
I went to the UK premiere of that as an autograph hunter.
Whoa! How was that?
I met David Swimmer.
He's one of my all-time favorites. I love Friends.
So do I.
You are a lucky, lucky man. That's amazing. Yeah, Madagascar was the 10th movie released under the Dreamworks umbrella.
So I like these 4 animals who have 4 different personalities. Marty wants to see the wild. Alex is in his comfort zone of being in the zoo. Gloria's a hippo, and she's quite bubbly, and Melman's a paranoid giraffe. And they all have there's these penguins who make brilliant side characters, and they have their own spin-off, which is funny because they work as individual characters. And obviously, you have the 2 chimps who are also quite funny. And this film doesn't really have a villain. It has, like, obviously the Foosters who are antagonizing and the old lady, but it's kind of all just, and Sacha Baron Cohen, who doesn't love Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah, and Ben Stiller voices as well. This movie it's a lot of fun in theaters, and it definitely has spawned more than just Madagascar, because Madagascar 2 came out, Escape to Africa in 2008, and then the third was Europe's Most Wanted in 2012, and then what I saw this week, which I hadn't seen, was Penguins of Madagascar, the movie that was released in 2014. And those penguins are so damn fun. I mean, they just, it's like the Three Stooges, but they have a little bit of smarts to them, and they just really love what they're doing, and the voice acting is so damn good with that. Madagascar is a great, great film. It doesn't. I don't think that franchise gets a lot of credit. I know there's a lot of Netflix TV shows that have spun off from Madagascar, but very, very good, solid choice. My number 4 is the 36th installment, which is How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. I just love how fantastical this third one is. Obviously the first and the second one are because of, dragons. But this one really focuses on the 2 dragons and their hidden world. We actually go up and live in this world that they live in, and it's like Avatar, beautiful, bright colors, and you just really enjoy the movie. They did have an issue because they had to recast some of the voice characters in this one. They still have the main guy, but I mean, Toothless is one of the great characters that have been spawned from this franchise, and then Light Fury coming in as the White Dragon was just a really fun relationship to see them grow in, and a loving relationship. So you get to see Hiccup and his girlfriend come together, and you get to see Toothless and Light Fury come together as loving relationships, and it just was a really good end to that franchise. Have you seen the franchise, Rob?
Only the first film.
Yeah, you should definitely check out the others because they're really, really good.
Yeah, they sound like they're better than the first film.
Yes, I think they just get better and better each one. Because the
So
first
it's
one's fine.
so it's the animated Lord of the Rings then.
Oh, good. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. All right. What's your number 3?
Kung Fu Panda.
Very smart. Mine is Sinbad Legend of the Seven Seas.
I've not seen that one in years.
Yeah. I didn't realize how many DreamWorks animated movies I hadn't seen. So this was one that I wanted to go revisit because I knew I loved it so much, but I didn't have enough time because I had to see like 10 DreamWorks movies. But yeah, Sinbad Legend of the Seven Seas. But why don't you hit us with the very, very popular, coming in at number 16 as far as released by DreamWorks. Kung Fu Panda came out in June of 2008, made 632 million worldwide. Yowzers.
I kind of like the whole Chinese mythology behind it. And Ian McShane is great as voicing the villain. And obviously Jack Black, Dustin Hoffman, Angelina Jolie, and Jackie Chan, the legend of martial art films. And obviously Michael Clark Duncan, the legend himself from the Green Mile, he's a voice in it. Like this film has a cast that's used to its advantage. Like none of the character, apart from Jack Black, none of them like take over the film, which is good.
Yeah. Spawned a franchise. It's got Kung Fu Panda 2, Kung Fu Panda 3, and each one has done just as good as the other. I was just at Universal Studios this past weekend. I watched, you got to go on the Kung Fu Panda. It's a theater, and it's just so awesome because it opens up on all sides, and it's very immersive, and you just feel like you're in there with them and in this world, in this realm, and it's a lot of fun. So Kung Fu Panda and Jack Black, especially with the Kung Fu Panda character, has really grounded themselves into cinematic history because of how popular that franchise became.
Yeah, I like that ride when I went on holiday to Universal because I like the start when all the DreamWorks characters meet each other, and I'm like, I just want a spin-off film of all this.
Yeah, it's like the Avengers.
Yeah,
Yeah, because they had the characters from Madagascar, Trolls, Shrek, Panda. Um, I forgot to mention this. One of the better logos is the DreamWorks logo. It's so iconic because the kid sitting on the moon fishing, it is so cool and unique. In each movie, as they get better and better and newer, they have their own sort of creative logo with that kid on the moon fishing. So I wanted to bring that up earlier too. But so my number 3, Sinbad Legend of the Seven Seas, came out in 2003. I was going through a huge Brad Pitt phase during this time, and this movie came out, and I was a huge fan. Catherine Zeta-Jones is also voicing in it, and then Michelle Pfeiffer and Joseph Fiennes are in it as well. Michelle Pfeiffer also voiced in Egypt movie. But this is Pirates of the Caribbean before Pirates of the Caribbean. This is on the seven seas, having so much fun. The villain is so interesting in this one too. But it was just new. It was something that we hadn't seen from these movies. You don't really get this sort of stuff from Disney. This is an adventure. What I really recognize when I'm watching all these DreamWorks movies, especially back to back, it's all adventure. Every movie is they go on some sort of adventure, and I really really enjoy those adventures. It's like Indiana Jones adventure. So, and this is that. This was so much fun. I love pirate movies. I love the seas, and this was right up my alley, especially back in 2003 when I was 17. I loved this movie a lot, and that's why it's my number 3.
yeah, I remember watching it when I was younger, and it was groundbreaking LD animation. I like the islands that move and stuff, and I think it's how I got into Brad Pitt.
Yeah. Yep, it's a good film. Oh, it says Dennis Haysbert's in it as well. Jim Cummings. Nice. All right. Coming in at number 2.
Wallace and Gromit and the Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
I watched that movie this week and really enjoyed it. But my number 2 is Kung Fu Panda. I'll just kind of catapult off of it real quick so you can talk about Wallace and Gromit. Yeah, I mean, it's just what I was saying. Kung Fu Panda and Jack Black is so iconic now. And I love that, you know, it's nominated for Best Picture but never wins. That's why Dreamworks never ever wins. It's so surprising that they have, you know, a pretty good amount of nominations but never win. And I remember when Kung Fu Panda was nominated, Jack Black had said, yeah, but Disney always wins, Dreamworks never does, so that's why Kung Fu Panda doesn't win. But it very well could have. In 2008 won for Best Animated Feature, because it was just so damn good. And I love the villain in this, and just the way that he escapes from the jail scene is just so awesome. I mean, this is a movie that's made for JD, and I love Kung Fu Panda. But please, yes, talk about Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
To Wallace and Gromit, I just want to say that scene where he's climbing up the stairs is hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many fun things. I love the obstacle course where he's doing the training and stuff. It's so great. And then the whole thing with Master, you know, Shishu and is just all really good stuff. And he becomes the Dragon Master or whatever. He becomes the Dragon Warrior. So really good stuff. But yes, the Academy Award-winning movie Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit, 2005, 192 million, 95% on Rotten Tomatoes.
So yeah, they are two iconic characters, Wallace and Gromit. I grew up on their short films, The Ron Clausers, A Grand Day Out, and As Close Shave. I think Close Shave won an Oscar.
I think you're right.
Yeah, and they're all great short films, but their movie is the best thing they've ever eventually had, because they have Helena Bonham Carter and Ralph Fiennes to have more dynamic too. There's a lot more characters introduced, and it's amazing how they managed to do this adventure with the budget, with the time it took them. And I feel bad as their factory in the UK, on the same night I watched it for the first time, their factory burnt down.
Wow. Holy moly. This movie was the one, so I pretty much had my 5 pretty set. This was the movie that almost got in because it was so damn good. I hadn't seen it. I know that it had won Best Animated Feature, and it's the chemistry between the two characters is so amazing, even though one doesn't even speak. But even from him being, you know, coming down from breakfast to the Curse of the Were-Rabbit to the whole end was just so good. And you know, his love for Helena Bonham Carter and the love of rabbits, you know, because they do love rabbits. They don't like to hurt them in any way. It was so sweet, and the animation is done so well. You can see smudges and smears on their faces because it's so detailed, and it's just brilliant. Really smart stuff.
Have you seen any of the old shorts?
Yeah, because at first I was like, have I seen this? Because they always do the invention stuff on their shorts. So I was like,
yeah.
But then as it went on, I was like, no, I don't remember this weird rabbit stuff. But yeah, I have seen a couple of their shorts. And plus, this did stem Shaun the Sheep movie, Farmageddon, which was nominated for Best Animated Picture last year.
Did you also see Chicken Run?
I have seen Chicken Run. Yeah. That's that one with Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the second movie that came out after Chicken Run. Then this one had come out as far as from the same sort of animation studios. And it looks like, yeah, well, Wallace and Gromit won Best Picture, animated picture, but Chicken Run did better at the box office and has a 2% higher Rotten Tomatoes score.
Nice. We'll have to, Aardman's the studio's called. We'll have to save their films for another episode.
Okay, cool. All
Yeah.
right. What's coming in at number 1?
Shrek 2.
Shrek 2? Shrek 1? The one that started it all. Well, I might as well talk about Shrek first because it came out first. We'll do it in chronological order. What can you say about the first ever Best Picture animated picture winner? I mean, it's the first ever. It's in the history books. It's not only that, but DreamWorks only has one other Best Picture animated picture winner. It's The Curse of the White Rabbit. Shrek came out in 2001. It's the 5th DreamWorks picture. It made $484 million at the box office. This, of course, is Shrek the Ogre, Mike Myers, Cameron Diaz, Eddie Murphy, and it spawned a franchise. It spawned what is now like Universal Studios. Is like pretty much all of its money came from Shrek. It's now, just a huge franchise, and it's so damn funny. It's got adult humor. It's got kid stuff. I mean, it's based off of all the fairy tale love from stuff that we grew up reading and watching, and that really elevated it, and it became, a huge franchise. And let's not forget one of the greatest cartoon villains ever. Lord Farquaad is so damn good. He has little man syndrome and really just wants to be bigger than what a lord can be.
And John Lithgow, great at the voice.
So damn good. Yeah, I mean, I was in 2001 still in high school, but for an animated feature to really blow me away at that time was huge because, I still buy toys and stuff. And at that time, I was buying Shrek stuff left and right. It's my brother's favorite, one of his favorite animated as well because it's so damn good. But yes, it did. We have Shrek 2 that came out in 2004, Shrek the Third in 2007, Shrek Forever After in 2010. Plus, you also have Puss in Boots that came out in 2011. And then, just so you know, in development right now is Shrek 5. So it's going to keep going. But please tell me, why is Shrek 2 better than Shrek 1?
Puss in Boots. He
No.
is in the franchise.
Puss in Boots was a great addition to the franchise, and it even spawned off a movie. And it does have a Puss in Boots: The Last Wish that is supposed to come out in 2022. So obviously that character is just as iconic as the name Shrek. But you think it's better than 1?
Yeah, because I like how it takes Shrek out his comfort zone of the swamp and puts him in a brand new scenario in far away. I love the fairy godmother, and I think Shrek 2 has the right voice cast because they suit all their characters perfectly. I couldn't replace Mike Myers or Eddie Murphy or Cameron Diaz or Antonio Banderas or John Cleese or
Yes.
Julie Andrews. You can't replace any of that cast.
Yeah. Also, Rupert Everett.
Great actor.
As, Prince Charming. Yeah, I mean, it's all star. Joan Rivers as well. Yeah. Well, what I like, why I chose Shrek, because Shrek 2 is really, really good. But why Shrek is even better too is because I like Cameron Diaz as a non-ogre as well. But in all the other movies, she's an ogre for the rest of the time. So I really like him being able, like, a guy like that doesn't get a girl like that. So seeing that is really cool. It's like Shallow Hal, and it's like, I don't know, it was just really charming in the first. But of course, all of it's charming because there's Prince Charming and he's the Prince Charming, and yeah, I mean, they're interchangeable. Shrek 1 and Shrek 2.
Pinocchio in the scene where they're saving him in the vault, and he says, say, quick tell a lie. What should I say? Say something crazy like you're wearing ladies' underwear. I am most certainly am not. Boing! I just love that.
I'm a real boy.
Hmm.
Yeah. But Shrek, it's revolutionary. It is the reason why there's, 2, 3, 4, 5, Puss in Boots, whatever. But also, Shark Tale. That's in creation from Shrek. Um, I also think Megamind, same sort of thing. Some other good ones from DreamWorks that we, don't really talk about. I really liked Monsters versus Aliens. Did you
That's
see
on my
that one?
that's on my honourable mentions. Have you seen Flushed Away?
Have I seen what?
Flushed Away with Hugh
Oh,
Jackman.
yes. Yeah, so I
I thought
saw
that
them
was
all this
good.
week. Yeah,
Like
Flushed Away
Flushed
was
Away.
really, really fun. I really like that. But also, Monsters versus Aliens is an also ramp. But an interesting one, Rise of the Guardians.
I've not seen that, but I'd like to watch over Christmas because it looks like a Christmas film.
Yeah, it's Legends, it's Rise of the Guardians because it's Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy and Easter Rabbit or the Easter Bunny, but they're the Avengers, so it's an interesting, but it's also done differently than other animated DreamWorks movies. So I really think that that's interesting. Captain Underpants, crazy. But yeah, the Trolls movies are also really popular nowadays. And then let's not forget Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron, Matt Damon.
Yeah, Matt Damon. He was good as the voice. I just kind of wish the horse talked, not the voiceover.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the weird ones that stays true to its, sort of
Universe.
style and universe. Yeah. Yeah. Because even in like Sinbad, the dog didn't talk, and Prince of Egypt, no animal talks, and Road to El Dorado. But great. Let's run them down. Let's talk our top 5.
My number 5 is The Prince of Egypt.
Solid. That's also ran for me. But I have a tie: The Croods and The Croods: A New Age.
My number 4 is Madagascar.
My number 4 is How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World.
My number 3 is Kung Fu Panda.
Very smart. My number 3 is Sinbad: Legend of the Seven Seas.
But your number 2 is Kung Fu Panda, isn't
Well,
it?
my number 2 is Kung Fu Panda. Yes.
And because I'm British, my number 2 is Wallace and Gromit: Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
So damn good. And my number 1 is Shrek.
And my number 1 is Shrek 2.
Well, it's in the same franchise, so that's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like Kung Fu Panda and Shrek are pretty much in the same sort of boat. They're both iconic and revolutionary in their own way, STEM, franchises. But I love Kung Fu Panda and Shrek. And what I was talking about rewatchability, both of them are so damn good, and you can rewatch them anytime. So Kung Fu Panda could be number 1, but Shrek with the accolade. First animated feature ever to win Best Picture or Animated Picture at the Oscars is pretty spectacular.
And it was nice to see Wallace and Gromit get their full film thanks to DreamWorks.
That's right. And they won Best Animated Picture, so good on them. And good episode.
Yeah, great episode. We've spoken about a lot of good films.
Are you going to see Boss Baby Family Business?
I'll have to watch the first one first. I will probably watch them back to back.
Yeah, you should definitely watch the first one first. It's not that, I mean, it's just so you have context going into the second.
I know
Yeah,
Tobey Maguire's in the first one.
Tobey Maguire, yeah, but he didn't come back to voice. James Marsden came to voice in the second one, which he does a really good job. And the movie was fun. It's definitely a great family movie. I don't remember the too much, but I would say it's equal or even better. But it's a holiday film. It's like set in Christmas time, which was interesting. So, but definitely worth the view. So go check that out.
Awesome. All right. Thank you for joining me again, Justin.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me as always. Thanks to the listeners and Patreon members supporting Rob out there, having them be able to go out and see all these awesome movies that we get to talk about.
Yes, thank you very much to Ben, Sean, and the Country Filmmakers for supporting the Patreon. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel for more episodes of the Fleming Film Show, and leave a comment what other topics you want us to talk about in the future, or what your favourite DreamWorks films are.
Yeah, if you guys drop a suggestion, we will for sure do it. So make sure to comment down there. And yeah, go listen to Will Crabb and his stuff because it's really damn good. I liked his review of Supernova. It was nice to have him on last week. And yeah, until next time.
And worth the view movies for you.
I'm at Worth of You Movies on all the things, and yeah, the Pond Theater with Cody and Chase still going strong. Today we talked about the Tomorrow War, Boss Baby, Family Business, and the movie I recommend for the week, No Sudden Move on HBO Max. Steven Soderbergh, Don Cheadle, and Benicio del Toro.
Nice, and we'll hopefully try and get Cody back soon.
Yeah, we'll talk. What was it? Wes Anderson movies, maybe?
Yeah, Wes Anderson movies we'll do with him.
Yeah, cool. All right, guys.
All right,
Thanks
see you,
for
Justin.
listening. See you next week, Rob.
All right, bye-bye.